All right, it's early June. Here's a quick update in patch tour. I'm at patch 2 right now. The last week was a vacation for the family, so I had the high anxiety monitoring the pumpkins from afar for a whole week. Thankfully, we had cool weather and everything went more or less okay. One thing I did is I set up some cameras, so I was able to see the cameras and I could control all the watering remote from my phone. So that was a big difference from past years where you're just sort of praying and hoping that things go well. So I was able to react to temperature, weather changes, and stuff you could kind of see from the way the plants were reacting. But when I came back, of course, it was an immense amount of vine bearing to do, which took, with 4 plants, took a ton of time to catch up on, because usually you're burying vines every 2 to 3 days. So that's all been done, and then now actually we're into some pretty warm weather. We had 100 degrees or 99 degrees yesterday, and probably something similar today. So I've been running the watering and overhead watering on the misting setup. So it comes on every few minutes for a minute. And it seems to be doing pretty well, but I still did get a little bit of leaf scorch yesterday, which I'm a bit bummed about. But overall, I think it's okay. So I'll walk you through the plants. So you can see the size of the plant now. This is the 2006 Wolf. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 secondaries per side, so around 18 secondaries that are started. I'll show you, I have a pumpkin that was pollinated at probably around 16 secondaries, so it's not planned to be the keeper. But I have one right behind it that looks pretty good. So show you down inside here, you can see all the vine bearing is now caught up. Well, actually there's a little bit more to do, just because with the warmer weather, growth has really picked up. So these are my knee boards where I'm bearing again. So coming back this way, I got some more bearing to do. This pumpkin was pollinated yesterday on the 4th. And it has approximately 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, probably 14 or 15 secondaries behind it. And then there's another pumpkin out there on the tip that I think is really going to be the one that I'm aiming for. And that would put, that pumpkin somewhere out here with, a good amount of plant behind it. So 2006 Wolf is maybe my biggest plant. I've had a little bit of wind damage, but overall the plant is in good health. This is the 2560 Gienger, and this plant has even bigger leaves. And same thing, all the vines have been buried. We've got probably a similar number of secondaries. Plant growth is really fast right now. Here's what I was talking about, like even with the watering yesterday, a little bit of scorch on these leaves, a little bit of scorch here, a little bit of scorch here. Everything was going really well, and then it just kind of about hit 100 degrees, and it was just a point where it overwhelmed the plant, even with my wobbler setup coming on every few minutes, which does a really good job. It's just, it was too much. So same situation here. I had a pumpkin already that bloomed, and I popped off, and it was, around the probably 14 secondary mark. And then I got a little pumpkin you can see right here. This guy right here, which is a nice shape and looks like a good pumpkin. And that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That'd be around 18 to 20 secondaries behind it. And then if I don't like that one, I got one more here, which would put 2 more right there, which would put 2 more secondaries or 3 more secondaries behind it. So I got 2 good options here on this plant. So yeah, overall plants are are big. I'm having to water quite a bit with this heat, which means I'm putting a lot of water down, which means I don't have a lot of headroom in terms of being able to water with the drip and put more nutrients in and more fertilizers. So really this plant right now is mostly getting some foliar feeding, and both these plants are getting foliar feeding, and other than that, just being watered. So I think I could be pushing, the nutrients a little harder, but that's just not in the cards right now. Weather cools down in a few days, and then I'll try and get some of the oversaturation out of the patch, and we'll be able to start getting back onto the fertilizer regime. So I'll show you the plants over in patch 1. Here we are at patch 1, and early June 5th, and here's what the 2245 Andrews looks like. And I'll show you, this right here is actually not the main. That's a secondary that I've trained into the main. The main was right there. You can see right there. And it had a bunch of cracks on it, which originally I thought was maybe from some insect damage, but now I'm not sure. I'm thinking more likely it's when we have the hot weather and we water quite a bit, and maybe I overwatered and I had some splits. I'll show some pictures here. I'm not used to seeing the kind of horizontal splits in the vine, so that's a bit interesting. But this will recover just fine as a secondary. I just don't like not knowing exactly what caused it. And it also means that now, maybe I could have been setting a pumpkin around here. It's going to stretch out quite a bit further because the next pumpkin in line is pretty small. So, it's probably 10 days away, but that's still going to hit the summer solstice target of June 21st. Over here, I like this plant's quite a bit more. This is the 2266 Kisamore, and just really got like a small leaf pattern, which I think is kind of a good thing. It's less likely to get caught in the wind. Did get some pretty bad leaf scorch from this last hot weather event, but overall the plant looks pretty good. I am seeing some cucumber beetles on it, but it's really long, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, so somewhere around 16, 17, maybe 18 secondaries already, and it's really kind of stretched out and not as dense as like the 2006 wolf plant that I have, so it's very different. And this one is funny. I haven't even culled a single flower off the main yet. Plenty of them have been on the secondaries, but the first flower is all the way down in there, and so that's going to have to be the one I go with, and it's going to make this plant pretty huge. By the time that one pops out, I'll probably have the pumpkins. We're almost going to intersect with the pumpkin over there. So I like the idea of having a completely filled out patch, so that's good. This patch isn't as long. It's 50 feet long instead of 60 something feet like the other one. But yeah, there's an early June update. Back here at patch 2 at the 2560 Gienger plant, and I woke up super early this morning and just happened to come out here. I thought this flower wasn't going to bloom this pumpkin wasn't going to bloom for another day, but I'm glad I just happened to be out here early in the morning, put a zip tie on it before it opened. I grabbed a bunch of 2006 wolf flowers that hadn't opened and brought them into the house. So it's a couple hours later now, so it'll pop open as soon as I open that. It's gonna open up, but this could be a keeper. This has got almost 20 secondaries behind it, I believe. So I'll take these 2006 males, pollinated, and then I'll put that zip tie back on. This could be the keeper. I like the cross of the 2006, that big orange pumpkin with the good genetics and huge size of the 2560. So yeah, we'll see. Okay, the 2560 is pollinated, this little guy right there. So that's pollinated. Like I said, I got one more there if I wanted a little more plant length, and got some weeding to do, but I got a decent amount of patch length left. So not 100% sure that'll be the keeper. One other thing here, this is the 2006 plant. This is my best plant by far of the 4 that I'm growing this year. But as fate would have it, I have a little issue. I'll stand back so you can get a view of the plant. Really good size. All the secondaries are stretching out really good. I did pollinate this guy here, which already looks bigger to me. I wasn't planning on keeping that because I don't know the exact count, but I think in the neighborhood of 16 secondaries behind it. But I was excited about this one or even another one out in the tip because again, I got a decent amount of length here. But similar to at the other patch, I have this perpendicular crack across the main vine. I have no idea what to make of it. My best guess is both of those happened after some heavy overhead watering when there was heat. When we had that 100-degree temperature here, I watered pretty heavily here. This is the only spot that I see that kind of damage. But I just don't feel like I can trust having this out in, right behind the pumpkin, given the size of the crack. So this is new to me, not sure what to make of it. So I think what it might mean is I might just end up going with this. It'll have a little less plant behind it. Hopefully it pollinated. If it didn't, I can do like what I did with the 2245. I can let this one or this one become the new main and just chop it. Either way, it's a bit of a frustrating turn of events given that this is the plant I was most excited about. But that's pumpkin growing. You don't have control over all factors, so we still got options and not all is lost. So we'll just react as best we can. I think that'll be the update for the week, and see you guys later.